For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Atwells Outdoors with me, Mike. So I'm going to guys a bit of a review video on a product from Robins. So with me today I've got the Robins Chinook Ursa. So the Chinook Ursa has actually been kind of in the range for a couple of years now, but they also introduced a new S size in. So you're available in kind of the normal Ursa or the Ursa S. Essentially the difference being is obviously the S is a smaller version of the normal one. The normal Chinook's around about about 4 meters 60 by 460, whereas the smaller ones are around about sort of 360. So it's about a meter or just over a meter smaller in its overall kind of size. So that does make quite a difference. How this differs to the normal Chinook, which is in kind of Robins range, is you've got this kind of Ursa functionable kind of front extension ability. So what you've almost got is a classical kind of TP design with the ability to really open up and bring the outside directly in. So we've got, it's very quick and easy to pitch. You can see from my own Atwells pitching and packing video, I think it took me the best part of like 7-8 minutes to pitch the whole thing, which means it's brilliant for going away for short trips as well as those longer style. In that kind of more traditional kind of TP kind of style, it's got a classical kind of look, but then that with that modern twist I think works really, really well. We've got a really beautiful kind of touch polycotton material, so again, your great longevity in terms of lifespan, but also it's got that breathability function, so on a warmer day it's going to be a lot cooler inside, and on the flip side, on a cold day, a bit warmer. So again, you can use this in sort of almost nearly all seasons, be it summer, spring or winter, depending on what you want to do with it really. With me today I've got the S size in the Chinook Ursa, just to kind of give you a bearing in mind. But the things are going for out of it is that you can create it more like a traditional kind of TP, as you can see here. So that uses basically the aluminium A-frame that comes necessarily included with it. What essentially is quite clever that you can do is the A-frame itself breaks up into 3 sections. So then we create this really nice kind of open up Ursa effect. So essentially we've got the sort of main upright pole here with that kind of A-piece joint. The bits then detach from it and extend onto these additional legs. So again, what it really opens is, like I said, brings the outside in. You can almost increases your living space quite drastically, to be perfectly honest with you, because it then gives you a more boxy feel at the front. So it means you can almost sit underneath here quite happily with a couple of chairs and a table and kind of enjoy necessarily the view, but still have that coverage away from the wind and the rain. Really nice, strong aluminium kind of A-frame. Also is twinned up with a zinc aluminium center pole. So, and it almost works a bit like, I call it like a Russian doll, that one comes out of another and out of another. So again, it keeps it down to a smaller pack size. The polycotton feel obviously kind of oozes a bit more class and premium. And if you still want to use it like a conventional kind of bell tent or TP tent, you can still do. The ground sheet is a really nice solid polyester, Oxford polyester ground sheet. And actually can be completely zipped off and removed if you wanted to. So if you wanted to make it kind of ultra kind of outback camping and actually have the, you know, probably sort of wild camping, you can unzip the whole ground sheet completely. It means also for drying, it's a bit easier to do that as well. And if you want to, you can in theory store it separately. We've also got a split directly in the ground sheet, which is located here. So this is basically to allow you, if you wished, to use a stove. So by doing this, what you can do is you can essentially sort of fold or roll that section back. So then you can have the stove directly in here facing out. The flue can go through the roof, so we've got its own kind of actual physical flue point, and then you can actually use that as obviously the heat, the actual inside of the TP tent itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back actually. Some really nice long bust zips, and you've got a really good sort of overlap with Velcro. The ground sheet again actually zips up to the front door when it's in place. In the front door, which we've kind of got rolled up here at the moment, you've got a full mesh part built into it. So if you're using it in the normal kind of TP manner, you can allow yourself to have a bit more increase in ventilation points. So you can zips, bring it directly down. And then you can also, you've got the airflow directly through there. It's a really nice kind of high grade thick mesh as well. And the material behind it was also kind of polycotton. there's no reason why in theory you couldn't just try and add a bit more guide coined onto this and extend that canopy a little bit more, but for me I think it sits a lot nicer in its kind of present setting. In kind of the TP top, what we also benefit from is there is the vent systems. It's the Apex vent system, and you've actually got controls at a lower level, so you can actually open and close the vent by a pulley system. So in fact, let's bring the camera inside and kind of have a bit more of a feel for that. So as we kind of come around, you can probably appreciate as we look down the barrow and how really nice and open it is. And I think as tents go in terms of good looking, I think this ticks a lot of boxes, to be honest with you. So really great spacious, and again I can stand up near enough in the center point and still be under cover. So you've got this Apex, really quite nice sort of mesh part located here as well, and you've got cords that run neatly down the side to here. So this will allow you to actually open up the vents, as you can probably see they're opening up now. So you don't have to go externally to do so, and then you can obviously let it go, and the elasticated cord brings it back down. If need be, you can just pull that a little bit tighter, just to make sure it gets down. There's also a clasp that comes supplied on here with hooks on it, so you can actually hang things directly from there. And there also is in a bedroom, if you really wanted to go inside. Zipped along the bottom, so you've got a really nice zip running all the way around the outside of it, and then you've got toggle points at a midpoint there as you need to. But as we're kind of inside here, you can probably appreciate really from kind of the view out and how you can make it. And to a certain extent, what you can also do is this whole kind of front ground sheet, there's no reason you can't kind of directly fold that back, so it's in place. So again, if you want to have it open and not have it sort of ground sheeted, you could quite happily do that. On the sides, as we come around the canopy, you can see there's a zip located here. Now what that is, that zip will zip directly into this channel here. So when you use it in the normal fashion as a teepee, that will currently close that up. You can see kind of how it sits and how it looks. It's almost like a bird spanging its wings. But from the rear side of view, looks really sharp. Again, that sort of lovely kind of beigey kind of material with the two-tone black works really well. And then you've got the Robins logo on the side. And again, you've got one on either side. So that works really well. So I think as a concept, it's really quite nice because it's almost a complete kind of oh, dear. Polycotton fabric. What you find is you've got that still that level of quality, but without going to the level of full canvas. And the thing with full canvas is obviously it's quite weighty, bulky, and it takes even longer to dry. So that's one of the beauty parts of having more of a polycotton material. Longevity purposes, you're not going to probably notice it personally, to be fair, between a polycotton and a full cotton. Yes, a cotton will last you longer, but I think for Joe Bloggs really, who doesn't really use it to a full of seasonal use, I don't think you'll really overly see the sort of the negative effects of going for a polycotton rather than a normal polyester. And that's one thing that's worth mentioning. Actually, for 22, there's also a polyester version of this tent which you can check out. So it runs with a 75D ripstop material, so it's still durable, a bit lighter in terms of weight, and because it's polyester, price point's a bit more attractive. So you can always check that out as well. But all in all, I think it's quirky, it's nice, it's something a bit different. Like I said, it's a bit of a traditional with a bit of modern twist into it. And I think from a usable space point of view, it's probably one of the most usable traditional kind of teepee tents you can find, because often the find with teepees is because of the slope in. Yes, they look pretty and they're nice. They're not overly practical. It works for a couple in there quite happily, and certainly the small, which we've got here, the S, I think, yeah, it's going to be a couple's tent, or of course you're going to sleep anywhere inside of it for scouts and that sort of thing. So that works in that instance. But from a proper family camping point of view, as soon as you put your bedding in there, it's very much taken up, and there's not much overly usable space. So this is definitely probably the best of that kind of design. For more information, of course, you'll have to follow the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website, where we've got more information from like pack sizes, floor dimensions, overall dimensions in comparison to, say, the normal Ursa Chinook versus the S version. So that's always worth a look as well. Of course, our pitching video is there quite easily to show you how simple it really is to go up. But all in all, really quite smart, sits really well, love the kind of concept of it. And we've obviously got physical details on there, things like the other features in there as well. So yeah, it's all worth their prices and blah, 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 blah. What we've got to mention finally is we'd love to hear from you guys on what you think in terms of the kind of classical TP design and this sort of modern twist to it. Feel free to comment in the box below the video. Failing that, you're always welcome to email us directly if you have any questions or queries about the Chinook Ursa at all. But in all, that is kind of our little video review on the kind of new Roban's Chinook Ursa and the Chinook Ursa S.